Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. We noticed there's been a few more viewers as of recent, so we thought it'd be a good time to show you guys the Troopy. If you're new here guys, our names are Tom and Takira. We've been on the road now for 13 or 14 months.
Before we left on our lap of Australia, we watched a lot of these kinds of videos just to get an idea of like things that we would like to do to the inside of the Troopy and what things people recommended that we should do and things that they wish that they hadn't done. And there are some things that we wish we could change about our setup, but we'll get into that at the end, so if you want to know, stick around.
This is our 2008 VDJ 78 Troopy. I'm going to start up on the outside. First thing that catches the eye is these decals that I got from Body Mold Signs. I just love these colours, makes it quite recognisable I reckon, and yeah, I don't know, they just had a bit of zazz to the Troopy. Never said that word in my life. We've also got these side steps and brush bars. We got these online, I bought them and I didn't know they were for a 79 series. So we had to do a little bit of modification to make them fit, but they've done the job so far. Yep. Oh yeah. We also got some aftermarket flares put on from TJM. They're quite expensive for what they are, but they just look so good. Purely for looks purpose.
And don't they start with the rocks?
Yeah, but... yeah. And the way I convinced Takira to let me get them was to tell her that it would stop the rocks chipping the paint. But anyways, it allowed me to get some fatter tyres on it. So moving on to the next upgrade, we got some 16 by 7 inch just steel rims, dynamic steel rims, and some 285 75 16 Mickey Thompsons. They've been alright. Everyone reckons they're overrated, but yeah, they are pretty expensive. 550 a tyre, which is ridiculous, but I just love the profile of them. They look unreal. So we just threw on some cheap spotties because we figured the amount of nighttime driving that you actually do when you're travelling, you know, you're pulled up by 4 or 5 o'clock anyways, most of the time. So we didn't see it necessary to spend, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on steady spotlights or something. We just got some June ones and they've done the job. And we also done a steady headlight conversion though. Definitely worth it, looks so much better. Oh, and we have got a winch. It's an old Duke winch, or Dookie, Duke. It was on the car when we got it, and we've only had to use it 2 or 3 times, but it works. So our main goal with this build was to be able to take it off-road and do tracks like the Old Telly, river crossings, and the Gibb River Road and stuff like that. So we wanted to get a new snorkel, because the factory snorkel on the 70 series is not sealed. It's pretty much just a raised air intake. So it's no good for water crossings. So we've got a Safari Armax snorkel. And probably one of the coolest mods, I reckon, you can do to make a Troopy look cool. It's just had the grandpa visor. We got this straight from Toyota. Way cheaper than any other option. And it just comes in a primer. We just got some paint from Super Cheap, some colour match paint, and painted it up. It looks unreal. The best mod. Another thing I recommend putting on is just these window shades. You can get the slimline black ones. Personally, I don't reckon they look as good and they don't cut out as much air. But these ones just look retro and cool. And they've fallen off one time and you can definitely notice the difference. You just get hammered with wind. So yeah, and then moving on, we got a hardcore 170 or 175 watt solar panel. I'll put the actual wattage down below, but yeah, that's just mounted from our Rhino rack that we got on top to another little Rhino rack crossbar, and it seems to be doing the job. Before I forget, might just mention that all our cables for our solar panel and the power to our rooftop tent, we just got run down this steady wire concealer that we've sort of 3M taped it to the windshield. And then if you take a closer look over here, I couldn't get all the cabling to go in just through this gap I wanted it to. So instead I drilled a little hole just in this cross panel. I figured that would be a lot easier and cheaper to replace if it ended up rusting out than a bonnet would be. So yeah, just drilled a little hole and silicon the hole up there. So that's how we get our power to our rooftop tent and solar panel. Next we just got our Dachi shower tent. To be honest, we've probably only put this out 4 or 5 times. But it has been handy for camping on the beach. Is it worth the money? Don't know. We ended up getting it because we were originally planning on putting a shower, sort of a shower cupboard in these doors, but we never got around to putting any hot water system in or anything, so, but we'll talk about that later. Now we just got our blacksmith tyre bag on the rear tyre. We just store all our recovery gear in there, power cords, sort of stuff that hasn't got a spot inside or that gets too dirty. And then we also put our rubbish bags in there until we find a bin. And then we got this tyre rack. I think I got this from the cruiser store, maybe. I'll drop the name from where I got it. And a gas bottle holder. I'm pretty sure I got the gas bottle holder from Thorburns. It's for our little 4 kilo gas bottle. And now we're just standing under our Dachi 270 freestanding awning. It's pretty good size really. We've seen a lot that are a bit smaller. This one's a good size, but I just reckon the bag's a little bit too tight. So it can be a pain in the ass to pack up, but definitely worth having for them rainy days and stuff. Righto, where do I start? We got Stratos seats, super comfy. They came in the car, so you know these are valued at a couple grand a seat, I think, from memory. And they got these little trucker's armrests as well, which are pretty nice. Takira's crocheted some headrest. So we got this custom made center console. It was already in the car when we got it. Couldn't imagine not having it really. We can store heaps of stuff in there. We have got 2 cup holders down in here. Lots of storage down here around the gear stick. Yep. We also have this overhead console. Was already in it when we got it, and we just stashed like our drone and stuff and hats and some camera gear and I don't know, just a bunch of random stuff really. So we've also got this little dash organizer. We just picked this up. It was like 15 bucks I reckon from Repco or something, and yeah, it's just so handy. Just all that hand sanitizer and pens and sunscreen. Yeah, just random little stuff that haven't really got a home. And then on the dash here, just hats and whatever other junk gets thrown up there. Alrighty, this is just our little code breaker tool that we got. Plugs into your OBD2 port. I think we got this from Ultimate 9 maybe. But yeah, you can just scan any codes and clear them if you're stuck out on a track. So that's been handy to have. And it also just tells you details about your trip and your engine, which is good stuff to know. And then we put in this Sony XAV 6000, I think, just a little head unit with wireless CarPlay. That was something I wanted, just so I didn't have to plug it in all the time. And I love music, so we needed something that was going to be pretty good. It's got maps and you know whatever. So that was another bloody unreal upgrade. So just here we have aftermarket cruise control, which is lavish. We've got a electric brake controller for like towing. We don't use that, but left it there anyway. And then we got a Ultimate 9 throttle controller there. So I forgot to mention this car's front and rear diff locked. Our switch is just down here for that. They're the factory e-lockers, but this is a workmate, so I'd say it's just been added on from the fella who bought it, brand new.
So this is my side of the car, and there's not much exciting stuff happening over here. I keep my swimmers over just like on this little hook for the window, And I got these little hooks here from Temu, sue me, for my sunglasses. And then in here we've got a little Doug's tub, which doesn't come with the Troopy, but it came with ours because we bought it off someone. And then just extra storage because we need that. And down here is more stuff because I have nowhere to put it and I have too much stuff. And so yeah, cool. And then, oh, okay. So Tom installed these little speaker things from the Department of Interior, and the speaker's definitely better than the ones that come with the Troopy. And then it also gives us more space to put stuff, like a little cup holder for your water bottle. We also got these, which you can just like take off and on, and they're from One Stone Armrest. It's just another cup holder, armrest obviously.
And a photo of me.
And then we've also got a little hat rack thing for hats.
This is just our collection of magnets that we got going on at the moment. There's a few.
We've also got these mud tamer floor mats that aren't actually made for this car. They're made for a
newer model 78.
And a newer model 78. But they do the job anyways, and they're good to keep the sand out. I also got this little thing just for extra storage for like sunscreen and insect repellent. And then we also usually keep our chairs and table behind the seats there.
Just while we're at it, our seats are Drifter Stockton. I've said that in a recent video, but they're probably the comfiest we've found.
Really easy to set up as well.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our Zempire table. These are probably the best on the market. I reckon you'll see a lot like this. They just fold up into like a little thing. We'll show you when we pack it back up. But yeah, it's unreal.
Okay, so moving on to the inside, we've got these OGS bags on both doors. And we keep lots of stuff in here. In this one we've just got like baby wipes and disinfectant wipes, and we've got like rubbish bags and like fire starters and whatever else. And then this one we use all the time. It's got all of our toiletries. And then we also use the like behind it for extra storage, so we keep just like the Ziploc bags and a little washing up tub that is like compactable. On the other door we've got the same, but these ones have like our bowls, some surfboard stuff actually in that one, and then
they're our lights for the awning and stuff.
oh yes. And then we've got this door hanger from 78 Living Co. This is where we hang our brush because we don't have a vacuum cleaner, and then our paper towel, which we use a scrunchie to hold because when it's windy, this thing, like the whole thing will unroll. Oh my god, there's an ant crawling on me. And then tea towel, and then we have an extra towel just in case something's dirty and we need like a rag to clean it or something. And then behind here we keep our chopping board and just some extra oils and pegs for the washing. And then we've also got these solar screens just to keep the heat out.
We got those on both doors as well.
Yeah.
And
have one on the front.
Got one on the front. Righto, so next we've got our drop down table that I made, and it was atrocious. Don't ever let me build stuff. Anyway, you just got these two little elastic tabs and it folds down. Nice little table, and we cut into the door. There, you'll find videos online on how to do that. And we just got it so we can store some olive oil.
Just for that.
Sauces and all our salt and pepper and spices and stuff. So yeah, we use that pretty much every single day. And yeah, would recommend. Now we got our pull-out kitchen. This slides open like that, and we keep extra containers just in here, but for the time being we'll move that. That's our gas hose.
So dusty.
Our Coleman little cooktop, dual burner. You lift this up, and it's got storage under there as well for just random stuff that we don't use very often. And then storage for all our pans and our jet boil thing and our cups and our plates. Pretty much all kitchen stuff in there. And then I made this little cutlery divider kind of thing, just for easy access. Before that was there, before I put that in, you would be able to reach down and grab all your plates and pots out and whatever from the top, but I figured it'd be a better use of space doing that. Might just quickly mention that this fit out was built by Venera on the Central Coast. We have got some thoughts about the fit out, but we'll touch base on that later. Our hardcore battery shunt, so yeah, you can just see what percentage the battery's on. We've got a 200 amp hour lithium battery. Honestly, that's been unplugged for ages. We've got it all Bluetooth to our phone. But anyway.
And then on this side of the car, we've got our little pantry. When I say little, I mean little.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It's really small. Usually we can't have like so much more food than this in here, and we just have to like keep it in random other spots because there's not enough room. But in here we've got just like other containers that we keep stuff in. We just got these from like the dollar store. And then in this little section, this is like the coffee station, and we've got like, this is our kettle pretty much. It's the other half of the jet boil. It's actually from Companion, and it's really good. We use it every single day. There's actually a lot of room in here.
So yeah, the floor is just vinyl that we got online, cheap as chips. And there's a subfloor, just a light hex ply, I'm pretty sure I use for the subfloor. And then we got Dometic 70 or 75 litre fridge. You can turn one of these, it's a dual zone, you can turn one of these into a fridge, into a freezer, sorry, and have the other one as a fridge. But we run them both as a fridge, so it draws less power.
So then for our seat covers, my mum and I actually made the covers with fabric from Spotlight, so don't look too close. And then this blanket is from Salty Aura, we use it quite a bit. And then this cushion actually comes over, so you can put it in here and then pull this across and it turns into a bed. And we used to sleep down here for the first
6 months.
like 6 months that we had the Troopy. But now we've got rooftop tent. So when we got the fit out, it came with like the foam bit that's inside of these cushions, and when you would sit in here you had to like hunch over because they were too thick, so then we had to cut them. So these are a bit of a newer addition. We got these cushions so that we can store all of our like winter things and extra blankets so that they're just not laying about. Okay, and then underneath the seat cushions we've got some more storage, which we keep our shower stuff in this bottom bit, and then we've just got some work clothes like Carver's clothes and steel cap boots from another job that we did. And then we've also got extra storage down the bottom, which is where we keep usually our dirty clothes, extra shoes, and we've got like an aircon. We don't really use that often. But that's on the back of the pantry. So it would have been good if the pantry was a bit longer, but anyways. This is where we keep our clothes. This is where Tom's clothes are, in this tiny little drawer. And then usually this is supposed to sit flat, so you can like do some work on it as a table, but he just accumulated so many clothes. And then this one's kind of like our little junk drawer. We just keep like our first aid and camera gear and stuff in here. And then this box is where I keep all my clothes. It's a lot bigger than Tom's one. It's actually the size of both of these drawers combined. So yeah, and then I just like have packing cubes to divide it. And then up here we've got our Sirocco fan. We got, I think, from BCF. It's great. We've got another one upstairs. And then we've got a power board stuck down to the top here that we can just charge things on. And we can plug like our Starlink and air fryer into. This air fryer we got as a gift from Kmart from Tom's mum. And it's great. We use it all the time if we can't be bothered to cook. So then next we've got these curtains that I made. Also fabric from Spotlight. And then we've also just got these snap shades to block some of the light and privacy.
So we also keep our ladder for the rooftop tent just behind this curtain, so you can't really see it. We didn't really want it just floating around the back because we rarely ever use it. So we just keep it behind there. We actually keep our electrical setup under this seat here. A lot of people in a fit out this style would keep it behind the driver's seat, but I found my tools were better off there. I'll show you that later. But yeah, we just got a 200 amp hour lithium battery from Renogy. It's a shambles in there. And then our lighting in here is just hardcore strip lighting. It just comes in a little switch here and you can make it orange or white or a tritone thing. So yeah, they're great to have. We got 3 of them around. So yeah, we've actually got more strip lighting along there. Yep, sick. So in behind the driver's seat, this little hatch, we keep all our tools down there. Then we got also in behind the tools there's a 2000 watt Renogy inverter, and then just here we keep our fire extinguisher mounted on the wall, and we've also got our hardcore 25 amp AC to DC charger, just so when we're at a caravan park we can plug in and charge it all up. This is our Renogy inverter switch, the on and off switch for the inverter, and then that's just our switch panel for our fridge, fan, lights, and then the power to the rooftop as well. Righto guys, here's our Outback Tour rooftop tent, the 1.4 plus, or yeah, it must be the plus, 1.4 plus. Sleeping downstairs up north was just crazy. It was so hot in there, and it's doable. Like, we done it for 6 months in a 900mm wide bed, but this has just been so much better. Come up and have a look anyway. Pretty lavish up here. We got all these pockets on the roof and an iPad pocket, which we use every single day. Got a Sirocco fan that I just mounted in. Yeah, so there's a power box down that end and then a working fan. So nice. Pockets on the side. Other than that, there's really not much to it. Sheets that I am too embarrassed to say how much cost, but they're comfy. Yeah. on top of the rooftop tent we're able to store 4 surfboards and our set of max tracks. When you push it up it's a little bit harder than usual, but it handles well. We ended up choosing our Bactura because you were able to close the tent with all your bedding still in there, and it's proven to be like sweet. When we were down south and we had heaps of blankets in there, we could still close it, and we've got a fan in there and some decent sized pillows. So our Bactura really has been pretty darn good for what we want it for. We would love a roof conversion, but it's just an extra, 20 grand, and we don't have that sort of money. Alright, so that wraps up the Troopy tour. If there's anything that we missed, just shoot us a message and we'll be happy to show you. Now we're going to talk about the things that we don't like, or that we wish we had, or that sort of stuff. So I'm going to start it off with an underbody water tank. I would love one of those, because at the moment we actually just have a jerry can on our tinny trailer with 20 litres of water. But an underbody tank with some plumbing would be unreal.
You already said this, but it'd be great to have a rooftop conversion, because then we could climb up from the inside or climb down from the inside. Like if something was to happen and someone was outside and we needed to get away quick, we wouldn't have to climb outside to then get into the front to drive away. We could just climb straight down. Another thing that we would like to do differently would be to do with the fit out. Like the pantry space is just really small, and like I said before, we just have no space to put heaps of food, and when we're on the road we're usually far away from a grocery store, so we need to stock up, and then we have nowhere to put everything.
I think if we were to do it again, we would probably go with an Odyssey fit out, or build it yourself.
We would love to have somewhere to hang stuff too, but because we can't really change this really because there's windows everywhere. But we would like just a shelf or something to put cleaning products and stuff. There's nowhere really to put that either.
So I think if you're gonna do a lap of Australia and you're fitting out a Troopy, I recommend definitely installing a drop down table. It's probably, you'll use it every single day. And I also reckon getting the OGS bags for the back doors. You can gain so much storage. Definitely invest in some of those.
Yeah. And we'd also recommend getting yourself a jet boil, because we use that every day, and there has been some circumstances where we haven't been able to get a big gas bottle to connect to the stove, so we've just had to use the jet boil, and most camping stalls, fishing stalls and stuff, have the gas for that, so
yeah,
it's great. Another thing we'd recommend is getting a boat.
Yeah, get a boat. If you guys would like to see the boat, drop a comment below and we'll make another video on the boat. Righto guys, we're going to leave you there. Thanks for watching. We have noticed that 80% of you guys aren't actually subscribed, and we don't know who hasn't subscribed, so just hit that big red button for us. Drop a comment, anything you liked, disliked, anything you reckon we should change, and follow along for next week's video. We hit Litchfield National Park. Thanks for watching.